Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Robinson, and welcome to this edition of College Football Playoff Focus, the season finale of the program. On this edition of the program, we recap the national championship game between Notre Dame and Ohio State. So here we go. We had two blue blood universities challenge one another. The Ohio State University went up against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Ohio State would beat Notre Dame 34-23. So for the Buckeyes, quarterback Will Howard completed 17 out of 21 passes for 231 yards, and he had 2 touchdown passes, and he had 16 carries for 57 yards. Quinshon Judkins had 11 carries for 100 yards, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns to go along with the touchdown reception. Trevion Henderson had 12 carries for 49 yards. Jeremiah Smith had 5 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown reception. Emeka Egbuka had 6 catches for 64 yards. Carnell Tate had 2 catches for 35 yards. On the defensive side, J.T. Tuimoloau recorded 5 tackles and a sack, and Sonny Styles recorded a sack. On the losing end for Notre Dame, quarterback Riley Leonard completed 22 out of 31 passes for 255 yards, and he had 2 touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown. Jaden Greathouse had 6 catches for 128 yards, and he had 2 touchdown receptions. Mitchell Evans had 4 catches for 52 yards. Bo Collins had 4 catches for 32 yards. On the defensive side, Drake Bowen recorded 7 tackles, and Joshua Burnham recorded 2 sacks. So once again, the final score in the national championship game, Ohio State 34, Notre Dame 23. So Ohio State, another national championship for them, and certainly there were a lot of questions this year, particularly not just about Ohio State, but most importantly about Ryan Day. This was a year for him. He was definitely on the hot seat. It started with him, with his team losing to their arch rival, Michigan. Ohio State, Michigan, that rivalry has been intense for decades. Ryan Day unable to get it done this year, unable to get it done in previous years. And then with the new expanded college football playoff format, would he have an opportunity to at least get Ohio State past the playoff and possibly get them to go further in the next round? He did that and then some, helping the Buckeyes win the national championship. So this is now Ohio State's 9th national championship in the school's history. They won titles in 1942, 1954, 1957, 1961, 1968, 1970, 2002, 2014, and now 2024. So Ryan Day, his legacy is established in Columbus. He's going to be around a little bit longer in Columbus, Ohio, as the head coach of the Ohio State University. I give a lot of credit to a lot of the stars that made the difference for the Buckeyes. Will Howard, the running combination of Quinshon Judkins and Trevion Henderson. Also the receivers, Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Egbuka, and Carnell Tate. And as for Notre Dame, I think this is just the beginning for Notre Dame. I'm pretty sure Marcus Freeman, he'll be back in the mix with the new expanded college football playoff format. They'll work the transfer portal, and the Fighting Irish, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. I mean, they figured it out in the past up in South Bend, Indiana, and they'll definitely figure it out. And what they've got going for them is that this is a program that's back. This is a program that's indeed back on center stage and in front of a worldwide audience, being involved in the mix in this year's national championship. And I know Marcus will indeed have his guys on board, and definitely they'll be ready to go for next year and for years to come. And certainly, to just kind of go on more about the expanded college football playoff format, this was very exciting. And I don't think they should expand to any more teams. I think this is the perfect format the way that it is. And certainly, that sets the stage for the 2025 college football season. The Ohio State University. They're no longer the hunter. They're now the hunted. And certainly this should be something where all eyes are going to be on Columbus, Ohio. And not just with Ohio State, but the Michigan Wolverines. Head coach Shamar Moore. What is he going to bring to the table now that his dreaded rival, Ohio State, is a national champion? What does that say about the Wolverines and their dominance and their prominence trying to get back to that national championship game? What about Arizona State? They came close to beating Texas. What about the University of Texas? Quinn Ewers declared for the NFL draft, so this sets the stage for Arch Manning. What about Alabama? Kalen DeBoer. A lot of Alabama fans felt they should have been in the college football playoffs. I know they're going to have a lot to say about this going into next season. How about schools in the SEC like Ole Miss, like South Carolina? What about LSU? What does the future hold for Brian Kelly in Baton Rouge? Only time will tell. You've also got schools in the mix like SMU. What an amazing story SMU was this year. How about Boise State or the University of Indiana? Will they be back in the playoff in 2025? And how about Colorado? No more Shedeur Sanders. No more Travis Hunter. Will Dion be back in 2025? Will Coach Prime be back? Will Coach Prime be back in 2026? Because the NFL, the looks appears is right around the corner for head coach Deion Sanders. And it's a lot, man. There's so many storylines that are transforming going into 2025, man. And who would have thought Ohio State and Notre Dame would be playing in the national championship game? I would have never guessed in a million years, but hey, that's just kind of like the beauty of with this expanded college football playoff format. And you just never know. Just like I would have never imagined SMU, Boise State, Arizona State, and Indiana playing in the college football playoff. I would have never imagined. And what about Clemson? Will Clemson get back in the mix as well? Hey, you just never know, man. But that's just the beauty of sports, and it's just never a dull moment. But at this present time, again, the final score in the national championship game, Ohio State 34, I should say the Ohio State University 34, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 23. And certainly they have a lot to be excited for in Columbus, Ohio. Again, Ryan Day's job was on the line, failing again to beat the arch rival Michigan Wolverines this year. And the question again was, could he win a playoff game? Hey, he proved it and then some. It was all about surviving and advancing. And they fought really hard. And guess what? It all paid off. And it got back to this point. And not just with Ohio State, but as I alluded to earlier, with Notre Dame. Notre Dame, they had a fantastic year as well. And as I stated earlier, the program is back. It's back and then some. And again, kudos to Marcus Freeman for what he's continued to do with this program. And this is going to be very exciting. And you can expect a lot of recruits that will make their way to South Bend, Indiana, and a lot of recruits that will make their way to Columbus, Ohio. And it should be a lot of fun just in terms of, you know, what's going to happen with the expanded playoff format. But, man, this was a lot of fun. This was truly a lot of fun. It was a fun season, and for those like myself and other people were waiting for the expanded playoff format, we got treated, and the games were great. And the MVPs of the national championship game were Will Howard from the Ohio State University, the quarterback for the Buckeyes, and the linebacker for the Buckeyes, Cody Simon. So both Will Howard and Cody Simon, both from Ohio State, were named the MVPs of the national championship game. And that's it. And that's going to do it for the season finale of College Football Playoff Focus. Again, it was a great season. Thank you so much as always, and until next time, everybody, I'm Ed Robinson. So long, and you take care. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.